Good evening, everyone. Neomis here, bringing you another video, another preview for our Arsenal's next game. That's right, it is Leicester versus Arsenal. Arsenal are going away in this next game to Leicester. A side that, for me, I definitely thought would be a little bit further up the table, even though they are starting to climb right now. They've had a bit of a slow start to the season. But Arsenal fans, I will say this, let us not underestimate Leicester and what they can give. They've had a few changes from last season, starting with this three at the back system, playing with now two strikers, and in their last game with a number 10 in James Madison. But they are, in a way, similar to Aston Villa, finding their new way overall. And you have to say that they start off slow. Arsenal have started off slow with the season so far, but we have begun to pick up a little bit of speed. And right now in the table, we sit 10th in the table, so firmly mid table. In terms of points, I got to say that I'm a little bit surprised on the amount of points that they've gotten so far, and I got to give credit to Mikel Arteta for that. I mean, a lot of you will know I'm not a big fan of Arteta, but I give credit wherever credit is due. There's certain wins that I didn't think that he would get. One was against Spurs, and I know everyone's thinking, how could you say we're going to lose against Spurs? But when looking at the table right now, and Spurs are sitting sixth place ahead of us, even with that win that we got, like they're ahead of us. And I gotta say that it's things like that that I didn't expect. But beating Aston Villa, I thought was a really, really good win overall. And then the little wins here and there against the likes of Norwich, getting the win. Palace was a bit suspect, of course. Same thing with Brighton was a bit suspect. But nevertheless, we've kind of weathered the storm. And it looks like we're on an upward trajectory. So you gotta say, gotta give Arteta credit for that. So well done to him for that. However, this test against Leicester will be our 10th game of the season. And you can start to kind of put predictions on where Arsenal could start to finish after this game because it kind of puts things in perspective. At least it's the first major milestone before we really get to halfway in the season on where Arsenal potentially could finish. Um, but this one for me is kind of the defining one with the 10th game of the season, and then you kind of could really start to look at things. If Arsenal were to lose this game against Leicester, it would mean Leicester would probably jump up to fifth behind West Ham, and it would mean that Arsenal potentially could be languishing at about 12th overall. At about 12th overall, if Arsenal lose this game, which is not what we want. I've said it time and time again this season that I need European football. I'm sick and tired of playing once a week. I need European football, and whichever way it is done, whether it's the Carabao Cup or through the league, we need to get European football back. And performing well in the league for me gives us the first indicator to be able to do so. And we just have to see whether Arteta is able to kind of put out the right teams and whether that we're able to perform on the day. Now, looking at Leicester first of all, and what they're able to do. Looking at their last game, they faced Brentford in their last game. They won 2-1, a side that we lost to. So again, that giving you the inkling of where Arsenal are, where Leicester are, and where exactly is it that we could potentially finish. Um, on paper, it's looking like an Arsenal loss, just based on the fact that Arsenal lost against Brentford. Leicester beat Brentford, relatively close game. Um, Leicester going with a 3-4-1-2, similar to what Aston Villa played with, but Arsenal beat Aston Villa, and these are the kind of positives that you got to take away from this. So, again, I guess in a way it balances it out. But let's look at the players here that Leicester are playing. Kasper Schmeichel, top goalkeeper. He had a Marty suspect. Johnny Evans, very good. Sionku has shown that he's very suspect, very prone to getting a few yellow cards as well. So I think this is one of those games where we can be able to exploit that, potentially get the man sent off. Um, if we only had Guendouzi, or you know what, even Granit Xhaka, you know, the masters of the dark arts, to entice people to get and draw a lot of yellow cards and potentially red cards. And I do have to say that definitely the players that we have in our midfield, Thomas Partey and Sambi Lokonga, definitely have their work cut out for them. And our attacking players in Saka and Aubameyang have their work cut out for them. But that's the way, first of all, is to get to Sionki, cause him to make mistakes, cause him to make fouls by just running at this guy, and it can be done. I smell Mustafi Aitas with him. He's got an element of Mustafi in him, and we can get at him with there. Now, in terms of their midfield, they play with four in midfield with two wing backs and two central midfield players. Two central midfield players I am massive fans of in Bubakari Samare and Yuri Tillemans, who are very, very good players. Tillemans, who, even though playing in the six, can easily go into the eight and the 10 with the way how he plays. The goal that he scored was incredible last weekend against Brentford. They're touting that as one of the goal of the months. And you have to say he is a definite threat from that midfield compared to Arsenal's threat in central midfield. Bubakari Samare is another one, very good player. Little bit slow to be able to get around and move, and that's something that I think that we can be able to kind of capitalize on that. You could isolate him by himself on the ball, and if we press enough, we could be able to cause him to also make mistakes as well. They've got Ricardo Pereira as the right wing back. He is very good. Very few flaws in his game. Is a bit injury prone, so again, maybe that's something that we can also capitalize on. But defensively, he's solid. He gets up and down on the pitch very well, and he crosses the ball in very, very nicely. Timothy Castagna, I don't personally know much about him, if I have to be really honest, so I can't give anybody a real assessment on him. He's in a Leicester side, he's starting, so he must be at the very least a solid player, and I'll leave that one there. Then you have against Brentford, they played James Maddison. Obviously, we know who that is. We wanted him at Arsenal. He has started off the season pretty slow, but now Brendan Rodgers has incorporated him into the side, and he is scoring once again as he did against Brentford. And then up front, they had Iheanacho and Vardy as well. And my guess is that I expect Iheanacho and Vardy to start that game. If not Vardy, then you expect um, either Iosi Perez or Patson Daka to be the guy who comes up off the bench and to, you know, just causes damage all day long. And Patson Daka, we should not underestimate. We were also another team that was interested in him as well. And he's got the full breadth of qualities needed to be a top striker: speed, strength, as well. I don't think it's as clinical as a Vardy, at least in his prime, but I think overall he is a very, very good, solid player. So I have to give him credit where credit is due from there. Now, looking at the rest of their bench, they got the likes of Ademola Lookman, Ryan Bertrand from Southampton. He came there from a free last season. Hamza Chowdhury, England under 21, a central midfielder. Danny Ward, Harvey Barnes, very, very good youngster. And Yannick Vestergaard, also from Southampton as well. In terms of kind of attacking goals threats, it's really just Patson Daka and I would say Harvey Barnes and Iosi Perez. Probably more so Barnes and Daka being the main ones to kind of really look out for, that Arsenal have to really do a lot of jimmying around with. But with Arsenal's starting 11, and I've said it in my last kind of look at where Arsenal should be going and what they should be doing, Arsenal have to be doing what has been tried and tested. So we figured out in the last game that you're going to play Aubameyang up top and you're going to play Lacazette a little bit behind, almost in like a 4-4-1-1 or a second striker, number 10 type position. And if you put Lacazette in that game with his work rate, dangerous, absolutely dangerous. There's no way we're gonna be able to be stopped with Lacazette and that work rate in this Arsenal side. So for me, I'm going with them two up top. Um, I'm also gonna go with Saka on the right. He didn't play on Tuesday against Leeds United, so you would have to say that I expect Bukayo Saka to start on that right. Then you gotta say you would probably expect Emil Smith Rowe, in my opinion, to start on the left. I have a funny suspicion that it's probably going to be Odegaard on the left because of the fact that Emil Smith Rowe did start the game against Leeds. He looked tired, in my opinion. Didn't look to be the Smith Rowe that I know. And in my opinion, I, to play Smith Rowe for what at least 60 minutes twice in 1 week, not sure if he's capable of that and whether that's going to be the case. But I do expect Odegaard to have some type of game in this game, whether it being coming up off the bench. But if it's not Smith Rowe, then I expect it to be Odegaard. Hopefully, it's Smith Rowe because I don't trust Odegaard to score goals. That's just not within his game. He doesn't do it much. Same thing there goes with like assists. I don't see him being that guy. He's struggling with the uptakes with the Premier League. I know he just come back from a little bit of an injury. Him and Tierney are being watched, but for me, maybe Pepe should go out on the left or Saka on the left and Pepe on the right. In my opinion, on how that should kind of really be. Central midfield, as I alluded to before, looking at the Leicester side, it has to be for me Thomas Partey and Sambi in that midfield. They're going to be the guys there to assure that midfield, keep the midfield balance going. And then in defense, you have to say it's going to be for me Tavares played a brilliant game for the last game. Should be starting, has to start. Overall, you have to reward players for the good work that they've done. So well done, Tavares. For me, he keeps his place. I'm gonna stick with Ben White and Gabriel. Now, if Ben White is injured, then I would go with Rob Holding in defense. I thought he was good. No, you know what? I'm not gonna go with Rob. I'm gonna go with Callum Chambers for scoring that brilliant goal. And again, I have a thing about rewarding players for playing well, and it doesn't get any better than scoring a goal. So for me, I'm gonna go with Callum Chambers at centre back if Ben White is still injured. Supposedly, it's just a muscle cramp, but you never know what could really happen between now and tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 p.m. UK time. And then at right back, easily you're going to go for Tomiyasu. I think that's the best way forward for there. He didn't play against Leeds, and I firmly expect him to start in against Leicester. And then in goal, I think it's pretty obvious it should be Aaron Ramsdale. He is now our number one goalkeeper, especially due to the fact that Leno has decided not to be interested in signing a new deal. So because he's on his way out, Ramsdale's in, and Ramsdale has performed just admirably and has performed very well. So well done to Ramsdale, and I think that will be the starting 11. Now, in terms of where Arsenal will finish in this game, what the score will be, I'm not going to use logic. I'm going to use my heart, and I'm going to go with a 1-all draw, 1-1 between Leicester and Arsenal. I think that they need to keep up the pressure, and I think that they have the capabilities to get in a draw in this game. Yes, again, like I said in my last video, fine margins are going to be a must. Fine margins, and the things that for me, Arteta does and doesn't do, the things that the players do and don't do, are all going to be laid bare in this game. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. But leave your comments below on what do you think the game is going to be. Are you going to also go for 1-1 draw as well? Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Who do you think will start? I think I've said everything that I needed to, but yeah, I am looking forward to this game, and hopefully, hopefully we don't just get a draw, but we manage to get the win. But I think I take a draw from this game because Leicester are no mugs, and for me, Brendan Rodgers is the top manager. So let's just try to get something out of the game and take it on from there. But until then, I will see you guys next time on my next video, which there will be a link in the description below.